Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day you're watching this video. This is Dr. Eric Tangumonkem with IEM Approach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. I want to take this moment to welcome you to this broadcast. I know there are many things you could have been doing, but you've chosen to tune in. I want to say thank you. We're in for a special treat today. I'm going to continue sharing with you my walk of faith. I will be emphasizing today on the power of integrity. The power of integrity. You make promises and you keep them. You are a person of your word. You can be trusted. You are dependable. People can count on you. Integrity is so crucial. Integrity is so important that you cannot succeed if you are not a person of integrity. If you want lasting success, if you want eternal success, if you want to win big, you must have integrity. You must have integrity. There's no way you are going to make a difference that is lasting. I'm laying emphasis on lasting because it's possible for you to have some momentary success. It's possible for you to appear to be doing well in this life. It's possible for you to achieve a lot, yet you lose it all eternally if you are not a person of integrity. Integrity is so important. It is the bedrock of any business that is going to last. It is the foundation, the sure foundation on which if you build, no matter what storms are going to come your way, you are going to stand. None of us in our right minds will board an airplane if we know the pilot was not properly trained. If we know the plane itself is having a faulty engine, none of us will board that plane because we know that flight is going to end up in a disaster. That is why in your life, if you want to fly high, you need integrity. If you want to go far, you need integrity. If you want to last, you need integrity. In short, when you say you are going to do something, it's important for you to do it. It's that simple. You make promises, you keep them. You make promises to your husband, you keep them. You make promises to your wife, you keep them. You make promises to your children, you keep them. You make promises to your business associate, you keep them. You make promises to your employers, you keep them. You make promises to your employees, you keep them. Keep your promises. Be a person of integrity. Integrity means that your thoughts, your words, and your action are in alignment. They are in synergy. What that means is what you are thinking translates into your belief system, and what you believe influences the actions that you take, and the actions that you take is going to determine the results that you get. It's not uncommon to hear people talk big talk, but when the time comes for them to execute, they are missing. Talk is cheap. There's always a cost to acting on what you are saying. And I want to encourage you, no matter how difficult it gets, no matter how hard it gets, please keep your word. First of all, keep your word to yourself. Highly successful people, people who do well, have learned how to hold themselves accountable. When they say they're going to do something, they keep to it, they do it. No matter how difficult it gets, no matter how unpopular it becomes, they keep their word. First to themselves and to other people. If you don't keep your word to yourself, if you don't have integrity with yourself, if your words and your actions are not in alignment, you are setting yourself up for massive failure. Just make sure. Keep those little promises. You promised yourself that you are going to get up each day, go out and exercise. Why are you not doing it? You've promised yourself that if you can just buy that gym equipment, that treadmill, you're going to start working out. You've bought the treadmill, good. Finish it. Finish your promise. Keep it. Get on that treadmill. Just do it. Have some integrity, and you're going to reap the result. You said this was your last cigarette that you're smoking. You've been saying that for the past 15 years. Just man up. Do something. Keep your word. Integrity is so important. It's so important that maybe what is undermining your performance, what is undermining your success, what has kept you grounded where you are right now, can it be that you lack integrity? Or you may say you have a lot of integrity, but are your words and your actions in alignment? Do you say the things you tell yourself? Do you do the things you tell yourself you're going to do? Do you keep the promises you've made to yourself? Can people count on you? Are you dependable? Without integrity, you are building on sand. Without integrity, you're going to fail. I have my heroes that I look up to. Before I share with you my experience with integrity, I want you to think about Joseph a little bit. He's one of my greatest heroes. When Joseph was 17 years old, he would go out to take care of his father's flock with his brothers, and the brothers were not always doing the right thing. Joseph would come back home and tell his father the misdeeds of his brothers. His brothers didn't like it, and that caused them to sell Joseph into slavery. When Joseph was sold to Egypt, he maintained integrity. Even when the circumstances around him did not warrant him to have integrity, he was a slave, and his master's wife wanted him to lie with him. Just imagine that. The master's wife owned him. As a slave, he had no right to push back because he was owned. He had no rights, zero rights. But even then, Joseph told the woman, "Your master has placed everything in this house under my control, all his businesses. You are the only thing that I am not supposed to touch. It's a no-go zone. I cannot commit such an evil before God." The fear of God is going to help you have integrity. And when you have integrity, you're going to reap the benefits. That's how Joseph ended up in prison, because a woman lied that Joseph wanted to rape her. When Joseph went to prison, and that is what I want to lay emphasis on today. There were two other officials in prison who had been sent there because Pharaoh, the king, was not happy with them. One morning, Joseph saw these men and they were dejected. They were not looking good. They were sad and depressed. They were anxious. Joseph asked the first person, "What is wrong with you? Why are you downcast? What's going on?" The man said, "I had a dream. And in my dream, I was squeezing grapes into Pharaoh's cup and giving him to drink." Joseph told him, interpretations of dreams come from God. This is what your dream means. In 3 days, you'll be released and restored back to your position of a cupbearer. This was a very good interpretation. It was a good outcome. Then the other prisoner, when he found out that the interpretation that Joseph had given was a good one, he too shared his dream. He was a baker, and he saw himself in that dream carrying a basket full of baked goods, and birds ate all the goods that were in that basket. And Joseph told him, "This is what your dream means. In 3 days, you'll be released, hung, and birds will eat your carcass, will eat your corpse." This was a very unfavorable interpretation, very unfavorable outcome. Can you imagine Joseph having that courage, that ability to tell this man the truth? We live in a day of political correctness. Unfortunately, it is the truth, and only the truth, that can set people free. We need to be people of integrity. We need to tell people the truth. If not, we are deceiving them. It's not about us, it's about them. You just carry the message, you deliver it. Joseph did not think about pleasing the other prisoner. He did not think about how he was going to react to the interpretation. The interpretation stands the interpretation. Changing the interpretation would not have helped, because that was the truth. That was what was about to happen. Because lo and behold, in 3 days, everything happened as Joseph had predicted. Now, just wait a second. Why am I sharing this story with you? Because fast forward 2 years later, Pharaoh has a dream. Nobody can interpret that dream for him. Nobody. That is when the cupbearer said, "Oh, I remember. I met this Hebrew slave in prison who interpreted my dream and that of the baker, and everything happened as he said." Can you imagine if Joseph had allowed political correctness to mess up his integrity, and he gave a prediction, an interpretation to the baker that was to make the baker feel good, that was to make the baker like him? He would have undermined his integrity. He would have undermined the trust and confidence in his ability to interpret dreams. One good outcome, one bad outcome, and he was able to do it right. And that is when Pharaoh said, "Whoa, this guy is so good. Can you bring him up immediately? Joseph was rushed to Pharaoh. He was able to interpret his dream. And that is how Joseph moved from prison, from a slave, to become the second in command in Egypt. Integrity, especially when you are acting in the secret, when people are not seeing you, when nobody is seeing what you are doing, is very crucial. The battles you win in the private are going to be the stepping stones on which you are going to win bigger battles in the public. Make sure what you watch, what you listen to, where you go, is in alignment with what you want for your life. If you don't have integrity, you hide behind and say, oh, I want to be healthy, I'm going to eat right, but you hide and eat unhealthy stuff and put junk in your body, you're doing it on you. You can't deceive anybody. If you're sneaking out in the night and doing stuff that you know are not in alignment with where you want to go, you are deceiving yourself. You need integrity. Integrity is going to make you win big. When I was an undergraduate student, I always told my friends, it's good to speak the truth. Cheating in exams is a very bad idea. It trains you how to be corrupt. And when you become when you graduate and join the public service, you're going to do what you've been used to doing. And that's part of the reason we have a lot of corruption in the country. My friends said, oh, you're just talking because you don't understand. I mean, talk is cheap, right? I had to be tried. I did not know what was going to happen. But one day, we went on a field trip. I didn't study for my continuous assessment. Back then, the continuous assessment was 30% of the grade. And the university I went to, an A grade was 70%. It wasn't easy to make an A. I've already shared with you how I failed chemistry 4 times. And those 4 Fs took a beating on my GPA. I needed to raise up my GPA. So that particular semester, I was praying and desiring to make A grades, 2 A grades in those 2 particular courses so that it was going to help uplift my GPA. There was a lot at stake for me. And the professor was very adamant. He told us, if you miss taking this quiz, you are going to have a 0. And I'm not going to give any second chance for anybody to take the quiz. We came back from a field trip, went into the examination room, I sat down, and I did not know what to write. So I turned to my friends that were sitting, taking the exam with, and I told them, I don't know what's going on, but can you guys help me? So they let me copy from their answer sheet. I copied a couple of answers. Then it struck me. What are you going to tell these students after this exam? You've been telling them all this while. It's not good to cheat. Now, look at you, you are cheating. What are you going to tell them after this? I had this struggle in me. Should I say goodbye to the A grade that I wanted? Or should I stand up for the principles that I've been talking about? There were only 2 options. Either to fail or to pass and lose my integrity was one of the most difficult decisions that I made. After pondering upon it, and a voice is telling me, you are foolish, you are stupid. Are you just going to let go of this A grade like that? We just let it go? Do something about it. You need these A grades. Look at your GPA, it's low. If you don't have these A's, you are going to be messed up. I summoned the courage, tore my examination, the answer script, I shredded it into pieces, walked out of the room, and dumped my answers in the wastebasket. I gave up on that continuous assessment. Just walking out of the testing room was one of the longest walks I've ever taken. It was a very short distance, but I had a lot of things running through my mind. What I do? Why are you bothering yourself? Just go with the flow. I stood against the flow. Then the tides turned. Later on, a few days later on, papers were graded. Students didn't do well. The professor changed his mind. He said, those who didn't take this quiz, you can retake it. Those who took and they are not very happy with how they performed, you can take it. And the guys I was copying from, they failed. I took the quizzes the second time and made A grade in those courses. It taught me a very profound lesson that integrity pays. You may feel as if you're losing everything. You may feel as if you're going to die. But when you stand firm on your convictions and do what is right, you're going to reap a bountiful harvest. And that is why when I came to the United States, and people were telling me, oh, if you don't do this, if you don't lie, if you don't declare asylum, get married, get papers, you're going to suffer, things are not going to change for you. I was just laughing because I knew where I was coming from. Integrity always pays, as you are going to see. I want to encourage you, whatever temptation you are facing right now, maybe from your boss, it may be from your siblings, whoever is pressurizing you right now to do something that it is not in alignment with your character, that is not in alignment with God's word. I want to encourage you to say no. Say no. Be a person of integrity. You're going to win big eventually, because when you keep your promises to yourself and to other people, they will like to do business with you. You are going to do well. You are going to succeed. Thank you for watching. Share this video, subscribe to my channel. If this has encouraged you, if this has inspired you, don't keep it to yourself alone. Click that share button. Stay tuned for more updates, because great content is coming your way. Once more, you've been listening to Dr. Eric Tangumonkem with IEM Approach, where we inspire, equip, and motivate people to discover God's great potential in them, develop that potential, and deploy it. God bless you. See you next time.